I don't even know what my own channel's 60-second clips are. I am dead serious. मैं कभी नहीं देखी है मेरी 60-second clips.
क्या आप गा सकते हो? एक बार प्लीज गाइए। मैंने क्या मुजरा लगा के रखा है कि इधर मैं गाना बजाना गाने के लिए?
क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहू
कहाँ से निकाल के लाई?
यहूदी यदुवंशी थे। फिर बोला था क्या हिटलर ही हरियाणवी था?
करे फिरा भीम जमा काली लेके, गुमा सरे आम शहर में दुनाली लेके।
What people try to convince you by giving you all sorts of bullshit in the form of 60-second clips, मैं आपको गारंटी दे रहा हूं, मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूं, मैं आपको गारंटी दे रहा हूं, आपको गधा बनाया जा रहा है. If you want to be a good content consumer, I repeat, okay, hero of the hell has gifted memberships of the Cārvāka podcast. जो लेना चाहते हैं ले ले. I repeat, if you are a serious consumer of content and or you want to become a serious consumer of content, you have to get out of 60-second clips. What are the baseline realities? Maybe we should start there. So today the baseline reality is this, and I'm sharing this as a content creator who knows very well that I actually am not following those norms, which is why my follower count and my subscriber count is where it is. If you want to run a successful social media company today as a content creator, these are some of the requirements that are there. Otherwise you just can't do it. I'm just being very honest with you. There is no model other than that. Anybody who tells you there is another model is lying, which is why I never recommend my model to anyone, is because I have some level of financial security and I can do it. And for me, like, if I don't do it, I may not be very comfortable with my own self. So if you are trying to build a career, do not listen to me. But because these days the baseline requirement for any social media success is you have to have a very bhadkila title, whether it's a newspaper article, whether it's a social media post. The emphasis always is on negative verbs. It's just a fact. No social media company wants you to believe that they are doing this, but this is a tacit requirement of every social media company, whether it's X, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. It's just that's the requirement in the realm of politics. Because see, I'm assuming all of you are concerned about political news consumption, nothing else. आप मेरे से pop culture news consumption के लिए तो आए नहीं हो सुनने. So we are only sticking to the realm of politics, and this is a baseline requirement. Thumbnails have to be standing out of a particular kind or this or that, and beyond that, what your content is not even the second concern. It is like the third or fourth concern. Yes, in that also your production quality has to be good, the way things pop up have to be good, but actually what you write, what you present, what are your facts, how many references you show, none of that matters. Literally none of that matters. That is all not even secondary, probably a tertiary byproduct. All you are getting today in the name of content is something bhadkila that will be click worthy. That's the only criteria, and that's how this game is being played. Secondly, what is happening is now we are in this incessant and I will take your super chats, by the way, because I see someone Chirag Srinath has just asked. I'll take those later on. I apologize. I'm aware of them. They pop up in a separate window, so not a problem at all. But this is the cycle in which every content creator is actually stuck. So let's say hypothetically the current trend, I don't know what is trending right now. Okay, what's political trending? There is Udupi. And so politics में इस समय क्या ट्रेंड हो रहा है ट्विटर पे in like some Udupi में there is Gita recitation that is trending right now. Now you have to talk about that. नहीं तो आपका कुछ नहीं होगा. इट्स एक्चुअली वेरी डिप्रेसिंग कि आप अगर इसके बारे में बात करोगे तो ये आएगा, नहीं तो कुछ नहीं आएगा. एंटरटेनमेंट वाले हो तो एंटरटेनमेंट में देखो, पॉलिटिकल फिगर्स में इमरान खान इज ट्रेंडिंग, then there is dead economy that is trending. So if you're a congress person, like dead economy लिखो तो वो हो जाएगा. But this is genuinely like this is the standard. So what do content creators do? Like the same is like what, even in YouTube, right? They have this thing where they show you, if you use this hashtag, this has a higher tendency, this has a lower tendency. They give all this data to content creators, and and this is how you know that you're always in this cycle. You just don't come out of that cycle. आपको पता है कि ये हैशटैग ट्रेंड हो रहा है, ये टॉपिक ट्रेंड हो रहा है. समटाइम्स इट्स सोशल मीडिया दैट सेट्स द टॉपिक एंड द मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया पिक्स इट अप. Sometimes it's the mainstream media that sets the topic and the social media is picking it up. It's basically, both are feeding off each other now. And so you are just in a 24 to 36 to 48 hour cycle जिसमें हर रोज आपको essentially वही मिलता है, which is decided sometimes by some person, sometimes like till the level of vahiyatpana that happens is that, I mean, I don't know how many of you remember last year that stupid train journey that I had. All I did was just type something like meri train journey ye hui, and that was trending for a while. So मतलब कुछ भी हो जाता है ट्रेंड. देखिए कोई चीज थी ट्रेंड होने के लिए, मगर वो भी हो गई. तो ये मतलब कुछ समझ के बाहर होती हैं कई चीजें, क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है. इट इज रिडिकुलस. और ऐसे में यू सी, आई डोंट इवन लाइक बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट कंज्यूमर कितना करेगा. सो यू ओपन अप योर फोन, you see, you scroll, naturally what is trending, that is going to be pushed the most on your scale. And then, somewhere randomly you will see a person like me who I don't even know how to classify myself. You can probably classify me now as one of those rational YouTubers, along with a few others who try to break the cycle, like break the trend cycle or get out of that bubble and try to say nahi ye nahi karunga main, let's talk about this. And then you're like, अरे मगर तुम बोल रहे हो ना, तो फिर tell me how to do it consistently. And this is me trying to help you sift through this bullshit. And I will only tell you what I did to sift through this bullshit. No guarantee that it's going to work for you as a content consumer. So take it with a giant grain of salt. Being मतलब मैं आपको एकदम ऑनेस्ट बात बता रहा हूँ. आई एम ओनली शेयरिंग हाउ आई कंज्यूम कंटेंट टुडे. And you might see ये क्या बात हुई इतनी बेवकूफ. And honestly, if you find it useless, you can tune right off right now. I completely understand, but I can only tell you what I do as a consumer of content to try to understand what the hell is happening, and then get information out of that and present it to you. Because other than that, I don't know any other way. There is no um, there is no larger way of understanding this. So this is what I do about any subject. I have a basic principle when it comes to most times. Another caveat, it's not like I have 100% success rate in that. Second, I myself don't follow it all the time. Sometimes I break the code. But here are a few rules that I have when it comes to me consuming something and then reacting on that something. So what I tend to do usually is, whenever something is trending, my uh, my first reaction, like I have trained my brain towards it, is I don't want to talk about it. That is my first reaction. And let me explain why. Most information that comes to you in the first 24 hours of a story breaking, I repeat, most information that comes to you in the first 24 hours of the news breaking, in my experience as a person who I think reads more than an average human being, is it is very superficial, it is all based on innuendo, and it has not been verified on the ground. Which is why you, as a consumer of news, should always wait till more information comes out. You should wait before you formulate any major opinion and share it. Now here's the catch. अभी आप बोलोगे कि फिर ये कंटेंट कैसे बनाए हम, and honestly यार, it is crazy, because content creator के लिए यही विडंबना है. Like imagine you being a content creator where your dal roti runs on that 48-hour cycle, and here I am telling you, as a potential person who maybe is eventually thinking of becoming a content creator, that when the dal roti cycle is done, then you should actually formulate a view and create a video. But honestly, if you want good information, you have to wait for that 48-hour news cycle to finish, because usually in 48 to 72 hours, when media goes ahead and looks at a new obsession, very few news segments go for a whole week or 2 weeks. Very few news segments. Like it has to be a really bad low news period for one thing to go on for a week. I mean, usually this is associated with war hysteria and stuff like that, where a lot of attention is there. एंड आई थिंक वो तो समय रायना रणवीर अलाहाबादिया कंट्रोवर्सी, उनका तो बैड लक ही खराब था, मैं जो वो तो 2 हफ्ता चल गई थी, वो बेचारे ऐसे इसके लिए वो पेले गए मेरे हिसाब से, वो उसके आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स इतने थे. बट इफ यू वेट यूजुअली फॉर दिस पीरियड, राइट, जो खाना पीना होता है वो खत्म हो जाता है, एंड देन व्हाट यू डू इज, वंस वो जिसको बोलते हैं ना, सब इधर उधर हो गया, जो हिलने थे हो गए, जो सामान गिरना था गिर गया, उसके बाद यू स्लोली स्टार्ट पिकिंग थिंग्स अप वन बाय वन. And then you start picking things up one by one, and you start checking each and every one of them, and then you formulate your opinion based on that. And that's when you actually say with a little bit of certainty that हाँ भाई मेरे को कुछ समझ पड़ा. This is the first step. Never consume anything for the first 24 to 36 hours. तो पक्का आप consume ही मत करो. This is my opinion. Wait. Second is, always consume polar opposite news, even if you don't like their ideology. So let's say if you are a left of center person, you should subscribe to Swarajya. If you believe in healthy democracies, you should subscribe to opposing ideologies, and you should make it sure that they remain, so that there is always a balance. I tend to read a lot of the Wire, Scroll, Print. I actually read them copiously. मैं हमेशा पढ़ता हूँ उनको. Every day मैं देखता हूँ लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं. Because what if the side that I support is full of shit, and there have been umpteen occasions where there have been full of shit, and Wire and all of them are usually full of shit most of the time themselves, but I still want them to exist, and I want to consume them. Also, get into the habit of reading at least one newspaper, preferably one regional language, whatever your regional language is. I don't know what, like in my case, I randomly scroll Hindi op-eds, Hindi language op-eds, and I read English language newspapers. That's my habit. I don't know how to consume content in regional languages. I can only consume Marathi and Hindi. These are my limitations. I cannot read Punjabi script, so I don't consume Punjabi digital like written content. But yes, I now just say I have this habit of following the developments in Punjab and Canada simultaneously. So I tend to follow a lot of Punjabi YouTube channels too now. Like I regularly see what's happening, like the pulse of Punjab. What are Punjabi YouTubers talking about? What are Punjabi journalists talking about? And then you don't even need to follow them. Like I have this list that I just go to the handle and I read whatever I want to read they have written, and then I move on. That is second. Like you should have a list of people whom you follow. You liking them is not the criteria. You reading them is the criteria. I repeat, do not confuse personal likes and dislikes with any of this. You don't have to like the person, but you should consume what they are saying. You should always challenge yourself and try to consume more reportage, less opinion. See, eventually what happens is, right, when you are a smart reader and your first principles are clear and you are rational enough, I think you will sift through the bullshit and formulate a smart opinion overall. I say this with a lot of pride, and I have noticed this in our monthly AMAs. Whenever members come, I have noticed that at least the Charvak podcast Speak With Me tier members are what I consider an average high IQ person, because the kind of questions I get asked, like yesterday was a AMA, and I'm always fascinated that all my members tend to ask such intelligent questions that it's such a challenge sometimes that even at times even I get taken aback. I was like, ये क्या साला पूछ लिया, अब ये सोचना पड़ेगा इसके ऊपर. And it's actually amazing. So I believe that, at least for me, like the baseline, if you are a member of my podcast, I believe you have achieved that baseline level of intelligence. And I think you don't need to read a lot of op-eds per se. What you need is more information. The more information you will have, um, I think that way you will be more informed about what is the reality, and then you can go wherever you want to go. Now, here's the issue. In, in India, when it comes to journalism, uh, oftentimes what goes off as a critique of the government is also as biased as what goes off as a presentation of the achievement of the government. So that you know that that caveat has to be applicable on both occasions, when you're consuming a critique of the government or you're consuming a government's achievement explainer. If you have that healthy caveat in both occasions in your brain, like it should be a, I don't know how to explain, like it's a default mechanism in my brain. Like sometimes you read an article, I was like, यार इतना तो मोदी जी भी खुद मोदी जी से प्यार नहीं करते होंगे जितना ये बंदे ने मोदी जी से प्यार कर लिया है एक आर्टिकल में. या you read some critique of the government, and your brain is like, भाई इतनी नफरत, यार इतनी नेगेटिविटी लेके कैसे जीते हो. It is insane. Like ऐसी नेगेटिविटी, यार ऐसी नेगेटिविटी तो नहीं होनी चाहिए ना. आप ऑब्जेक्टिविटी तो नहीं खो ना. That's like it's crazy. ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए. So I hope you understand. Like, so what did I say? The first rule was wait. Have some patience when you're consuming content. Two, have a list of people you like to follow depending on the subject. Like in defense, you should always have a variety of people you like to follow. I'm not going to tell you who you're supposed to follow, whether on foreign policy, whether on defense, whether on economics, whether on any subject, like on agricultural policy. Depends. Now, the third most important thing in terms of content consumption is, and again, the caveat here being that we are only talking about political content consumption. I mean, I love stand-up comedy, so our day is not कि basically मैं सुबह से शाम तक सिर्फ political content consume करता रहूंगा और boring life जीऊंगा. No, I mean, I completely understand. We are consuming like OTT. मतलब, it's just that, let's say you have 3 hour window of content consumption, and in that half an hour is meant for politics and 2.5 hours is meant for other entertainment. I'm just hypothetical. So I'm only talking about that half an hour. I'm not talking about the rest of the day. So before somebody thinks कि I am suggesting कि तुम बंद कर दो सालों, सिर्फ politics को ही consume करते रहो. नहीं भैया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोल रहा मैं आपको. So please don't misunderstand anything. So now we go back to where I was. Where was I? साला मैं ही मेरा train of thought भूल गया. क्या था मेरी third thing? जल्दी बताओ मुझे, मैं खुद ही भूल गया. What was I talking about? Oh shit, this is when you don't have notes and you do everything off the cuff. क्या था भाई, मैं क्या बोल रहा था, मैं ही भूल गया यार. जल्दी बताओ लाइव स्क्रीन पे, मैं ही भूल गया. जल्दी बोलो. क्या बोल रहा था मैं? हैला, आई हैव बिकम सो ओल्ड. Oh yeah, politics. Huh. So, huh. So I was talking about only the 30 minutes that we are talking about. In the 30 minutes that you are talking about, which is related to politics or anything, can you at least make sure that you you, you man, how do I say this? Like, which is the exact word I'm looking at? Can you annoy yourself? Like, can you dial your content consumption slightly towards something that creates annoyance for you? You see what I'm saying? Things you don't like to hear. It doesn't mean they are true. It doesn't mean they're true. But it should be based on a, a system, an internal system that, at least like in my case, I have created that internal system where I wait for 36 to 48 hours. I have a list of people that I follow. And then out of that, I tend to consume things at the third step that creates some level of annoyance for me. Annoyance in the form of like, yeah, bol raha hai, kind of a reaction. But then it tends to drive me to go and kind of deep dive into primary data. And then I start digging. अच्छा ये बोल रहा है, क्या बोल रहा है, जरा देखे तो सही. So this is the major three major uh, uh, baselines that you do. Now, the one most important thing that I have come across when it comes to content consumption, where I feel most people are struggling, is that I think attention spans are a giant problem. And I think that is leading to bad content consumption habits. I'm going to recommend you to do something that you will hate me for. And this is my last recommendation. Cut down on 60-second content. You want to be a good content consumer, you cannot be reliant on 60-second videos. 60-second videos are literally like charas. First of all, how many of you, be honest with me, who are there right now in this live stream? Some of you are, or most of you are right now on X. Some of you are on YouTube right now. How many of you consume 60-second content as 80% of your content? Be honest with me. Be honest with me. I'll be honest with you. Not even 5% of my content consumption is 60 seconds. I only consume long form content. And by long form, I mean minimum 8-minute clip to a 3-hour video. So I'm sharing my content consumption with you. So what is your level? I want to know how do you guys consume things? So you guys are, so if you're on YouTube, you're on YouTube. Like on YouTube, are you basically doing 60 seconds? That's all you're doing. So, okay, this is heartening. A lot of you are saying that no, most of you are actually into long form content. Oh, okay. So 60 seconds only comedy shots, not for politics. That is rational, because comedy में वो joke 60 seconds में package हो सकता है. Mm. So cool. It's actually very heartening that a lot of you are long form consumers. Good. So here's my thing. What I have noticed is that every time I've met people who tend to have these unnecessary opinions, mm, being very honest, listen, as a mildly known content creator who tends to do talks and meet a lot of people, I'm not like a very popular Bollywood actor or a stand-up comic, but I'm mildly known. And wherever I go for talks, in fact, I say no to 95% of talk invites, which is why I at least in India मैं किधर नहीं जाता. कनाडा में मैं फिर भी चले जाता हूँ, मगर मुझे ज्यादातर बुलाया जाता है, मैं जाता भी नहीं हूँ. मगर मैं जब भी जाता हूँ, उसके बाद भी जब मैं लोगों को मिलता हूँ, this is my tendency. People who tend to be in this 60-second consumption addiction cycle generally are the ones who ask me the stupidest questions. Most of the questions that these people who consume this 60-second cycle are, like very emotional. They are asking very emotional questions. It is laced with an appeal to emotion fallacy. Like, हर चीज में ये बच्चा मर गया, आपको कैसा लग रहा है? अरे भाई, वो बच्चा मर गया, बुरा ही लगेगा ना, मगर तू उससे पूरे दुनिया के बारे में कंक्लूजन क्यों ड्रॉ कर रहा है? And I feel that people who are doing basically doing this, yeah, you, they are slowly being trained to lose their ability to think rationally, because rational thinking, in my view, again, you guys can disagree with me, but I feel rational thinking's first requirement is time. You need time to build an argument. You need time to think about something, ponder about it, build a question around it. This is my view. Like, I don't know how many of you do this. I have a habit, like, even if I am in a meeting, right? So I will take my S Pen out, and I'll listen to what the other person is saying, and I'll start writing. And I'll tell them, please don't feel offended. Like, I'm actually taking notes of what you're saying. If it's an important meeting with like a policy person or something, like someone senior, political or not political, I have a habit of taking notes. Many times, a lot of you worry, ये साला इधर क्या देखता है? I'm looking at the live chat when I'm talking to, because I do live stream. So I like to read what the person is talking about, watching me right now. Two, I also have a small internal, WhatsApp web U section. You know how you can send yourself a. So every time I'm doing a monologue or a live stream or anything, whatever my guest says, like I may forget what they've said. So in the U section, I just tend to type. You'll see me typing something at times, and मैं कुछ आपसे तो बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. But what I do is, I tend to type things that say, if I'm talking to a guest and that guest has said a very specific point that I want to circle back to later on. So I just type it out. I have this habit. What I have realized is people who don't have this habit, I don't know how they can ask intelligent questions, or how are they understanding anything. 60-second news clips and 60-second explainers are designed to make you dumb. If your entire understanding of a subject is scrolling through 100,000 60-second clips, I'm sorry, you are not good at it.